What's happening, YouTube? Back in the day gamer here. Thanks for tuning into my channel, and today I'm coming at you with the games I beat in 2024. That's right, there's a good list of games here. It's, as usual, not as large as I had set out for it to be, but it's a pretty good list. So let's jump in and see what we did last year. As is customary on this channel, we like to have a beverage while we talk. And being as how it's earlier on in the day, it's not going to be an alcoholic beverage. But when I saw this at the store, it definitely caught my eye, and I was like, I got to pick that up for a video. So I've never heard anybody say anything about it either, so maybe this is new to you as well. Has been in the fridge for about a month, so I don't know if you can still get it. But this is limited edition Coca-Cola Oreo. Now, bear in mind it's 0 sugar. So I already have low expectations for this, and it being 0 sugar really drops those expectations down even farther. I brought a glass because I'm curious to see what color this is and if there's any pieces of Oreo floating in it. There's not. So far, it looks exactly like Coca-Cola. Smells like Coca-Cola. And, well, this glass is frosty, so you can't really tell, but that's just it's your regular Coke color. Cheers! Cheers, YouTube! Happy New Year! So if it weren't 0 sugar, it would be a lot better, obviously. But it does have this forward punch of Oreo cookie. But then it's got that aftertaste of 0 sugar, which is terrible. If they make one of these that's a regular Coca-Cola full sugar, get it, try it, I bet it's good. That one, not so much. But I'm tasting Oreo. So, the games I beat last year. Bear in mind, I don't look things up and I don't give up. So, falling well short of my gaming goals of beating 50 games, beating 1 game from each console that I own, beating 12 RPGs, and 10 games from my backlog, 10 of the top games from my backlog. Fell way short of all that. Still had fun playing video games. This messy pile here is all of them. We'll give you a count at the end. But we started the year off with a non-retro game. Sorry, but Angry Baby and I spent a lot of time playing Super Mario Wonder. This was a fantastic game. We still play it constantly because 4-year-olds like what they're familiar with, and he's familiar with this, so we still play it constantly. Even though I beat it a year ago in January, we beat it because Angry Baby and I, for at the time being 3, he was a lot better at a video game than I thought he would be, and now that he's 4 and played this for another year, solid, putting hours into it, it's pretty damn good. It's like watching an adult play. It's kind of creepy. But he's 4. He still can't beat Bowser. It's when he gives Daddy the controller. He knows what's up. But Mario Wonder, not having played really any Mario games except for Super Mario 1, 2, and 3 on the Nintendo. I never really played the 3D World one on Switch. Never really played that. And I didn't really play anything else. I mean, Mario Kart doesn't count. But this was awesome. This was an awesome game. You all know that. Next up, one of my favorite consoles, the Game Boy. We got The Simpsons Escape from Camp Deadly. Wasn't sure if it was Bart Escapes, but The Simpsons Escape from Camp Deadly. I know I say this often, but I hated this game at first. It's a Game Boy, but it has bad graphics. And when I first started playing it, I could not beat the first board. It was the dumbest thing ever. After that, I got hooked, oddly enough. It became fun. It was easy but tough. That sounds stupid, right? But it'll give you clues like blindside Bill. You hit him from the back. Aside from the clues, the bulletins you get on the boards, they kind of have a timeline. Morning, noon, night, climb the mountain, and then escape from Camp Deadly, which I did. I escaped from Camp Deadly. Simpsons is like my all-time favorite show. I still want to go through Bart vs. the Juggernauts and the NES games, and I will, but I haven't. And that sure didn't really prompt me to play the next one. The next one being Bart vs. the Juggernauts, which I threw in after this and was immediately frustrated and stopped. Bart and the Beanstalk game is a little better. That's for another video. Next up, we had an NES staple that was a disappointing port from the arcade, but everyone had this game, but I don't think everybody beat it. I did. Operation Wolf. This is a super fun game I always overlook when I'm going through my collection looking for a game to play. Probably because it's not the arcade holding that awesome Uzi. But it's pretty easy up until the last couple boards. It's that no continues and minimal health replenishers that really does you in. I really like the enemy counters. Like, it counts down, it tells you how many are left to kill. That's a nice touch. I can't recall that in any other video game. Yeah, I mean, knowing what you have left to take out isn't something that you see very often, and for some reason I just like it and thought it was super cool. The jungle stage has always been my favorite. Shooting those chickens, get you another grenade, that's fun, and the boats going by in the canal, thumbs up! The final boss is a breeze. I beat it the first time, which I had never liked doing, but I did. 2 thumbs up for this bargain bin Nintendo game, which everybody has. It's only about a 10-minute playthrough, about the same as Jaws, which I like as well, but I can't believe it took me this many years to beat this one. On the checked off list. Next up, a really weird Nintendo game that you never really hear anybody say anything of. It's probably why I haven't beat it until now. Other than that, and it's not really good, but Wayne's World! I already said I say this a lot, and I'm saying again, but at first, I hated this fucking game. The graphics are crappy, the controls suck, the gameplay isn't really fun. It's like the game's half broken, but the more I played it, for whatever reason, and I decided to keep playing it, the more it grew on me. The best parts are the comedy elements for sure, the cutscenes, how the characters work, and how their hair flows in the breeze. That's awesome. Once I figured out the brokenness of the game, and then I figured it was probably going to be short, I was extra determined to beat it. How it follows the story with the cutscenes and level designs, started to change my mind about it. And it doesn't follow the movie exactly, but it does follow it somewhat. There's a timeline involved that's similar. So while I'm not saying you have to play this game, but if you're my age and you still play Nintendo, thumbs up! Party time! Excellent! Next up is my 81st game Nintendo beat. 81st Nintendo game I beat. Which is weird. That means Wayne's World was 80. But 81 is none other than the Chessmaster! Another bargain bin game. I wouldn't say everybody has, but everybody's seen. Chessmaster, super easy. First time I played it, got a stalemate. Second time, checkmate. Boom, game over. Normally I would say, you gotta play it on a harder difficulty, but I didn't find a difficulty option. So I played it, I beat it, it's done. Moving on to the first Sega Genesis game I beat in 2024. Let me check my notes. This is, we're into March now. You don't care when I beat them, but this was in March. This game here is a recommendation from Alpha Nerd. On one of his videos, said this was an awesome game, one of his favorites or whatever, he liked it. I generally I like some games he plays. Plays a lot of games, so that's not very specific. But this one is one I decided to pick up on his recommendation, and I wasn't disappointed. Didn't like it as much as him, but Shadow Blasters! This is a cool game. It was fun to play, good smooth controls, nice graphics. Boss fights were easy, but they're really cool. The whole game was short. I beat it my first time playing it in like less than an hour probably, which isn't great, but since it's fun, there's replayability. You know, I didn't care for the final boss at all. That's disappointing because, you know, you want your game to have a finale. The final boss should be awesome. So you're flying in space and the enemy, like, has gravity, it pulls you towards it. So when you touch it, your enemy gets drained. Once I realized it was just a game of cat and mouse and you just shoot at it from long range, I beat it right away, and that's that. This is definitely somewhat of a Genesis hidden gem I would recommend, keeping in mind that it's short. I don't know that I'm really going to play it again. Sorry, Elf Nerd. I did like it, but got a lot of games I know I like a lot more that I haven't played yet. Like this one right here, which is odd that I like it. This Game Boy Advanced Disney Kids game liked a lot better than that one, but I did. It's just a cool game. I saw Captain Algebra play it, and he said he liked it. And it being, you know, GBA games usually like $5, whatever. I picked it up, and I like it. Obviously, I said I like it. I like it. Home on the Range. I'm gonna toss this out there. This is a Game Boy Advance hidden gem. Most movie game adaptations are crap. We all know that, but this one is a lot of fun. I like a whole bunch about Home on the Range. I don't know that I've seen the movie now that I think about it. We watch a lot of kids' movies, but I'm gonna remedy that right after this video. Yeah, that's probably one of those things that I say I'm gonna do and don't, like get my videos out on time. So the graphics, controls, gameplay, story, changing of characters, that's not a choice, but it's just something that happens as you progress through levels. Adds more depth to it, and I liked it. All those things were great. There's a lot of level variations. There's some comedy. The goat cracks me up. The soundtrack fits. So far, it's just got a lot going for it, right? I mean, take my word for it. Get this game. You start as the horse, and he's got a bunch of different attacks. When he beats a board, he flexes his muscles. That made me laugh every fucking time. There are third-person horse-driving stages. Then when you're the goat, it's funny too because he's all crotchety like a goat would be. I assume he's that way in the movie, but like I said, I haven't seen it yet. His gameplay is also fun with different aspects. He jumps and obviously butts his head with horns because he's a goat. That's mostly his attack, but then there's the power-ups to make him run faster, hit harder, double jump, which I always like a double jump in a game. Definitely. When I start playing a new game and it's got a double jump, I'm always pleased. He also spits corn as a projectile. That's not something you see a lot, right? Being a goat instead of coins to earn extra lives, he collects old cans. Because I guess goats like to chew on old cans. I don't know, but I'm sure that's also something to do with the movie. This game also just controlled really well, and it was fun. And it had a lot of charm. Bravo, Disney. Bravo. Home on the Range. Yeah. I don't know. I'll rate these games at the end and say which one I think is the best. I mean, that's not going to be the best, but that's a good one. And bargain buy for sure. Get it. The next game on my list is absolutely not a bargain buy. And looking at it, it's a repro cart. This was like one of my early purchases when I started collecting hardcore for other systems besides the Nintendo, the NES, because I've always collected for that my whole life. And then when I started getting into it more, long time ago, this was one of the first games I picked up. Even though this is a repro cart, at that time this game would not have been that expensive anyways. But you don't care about that shit. You want to know what the game is, and it's a fucking awesome game. Evo on the Super Nintendo. So I'm sure most of you have heard of this game but not played it because it's rare and really expensive, but it's one of the most unique games I've ever played. The concept is great. Evo, evolution, evolve. You know, you start off as a really small, weak creature, and as you power up, you evolve. To evolve, you gain experience by consuming the flesh of fallen enemies, which is the only way you should level up in any game ever. With the experience points you earn from consuming the flesh of your fallen victims, you choose what attributes you'd like your new creature to evolve, like jaws upgrade gives more biting power, body size increases your power and hit points, horns increase attack power, tail, jumping ability, and so on. You know, the graphics on this are really good. The soundtrack's fantastic. The controls are the weakest point of the game because they're a bit slow and stiff, but there's just so much to this game. I could go on and on about it. The storyline is cool, the enemies are plentiful, lots of boss battles, which are hands down the toughest part of the game. There were several of the boss battles that I had to spend literal hours on, and that's not great, but I mean, it took me a long time to beat the game, so I got my money out of it. Even though it's a repro and it was cheaper, if I paid the going price now, I still got my money out of it. So, Evo really deserves its own video, its own review, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. But it is absolutely in contention for 2024 Back in the Day Gamers Game of the Year. Moving on to a game that I started playing on John Aguilera's Retro Freak, which he brought to our trip to Cleveland for the Cleveland Retro Gaming Expo. We're going through the games on the hard drive on his Retro Freak, looking for games to play. There's two of us. We wanted to play a co-op game. We played some co-op games. We played some non-co-op games. We started playing this. This game always frustrated me. I like the first one better. Just a lot better. So I don't know, I just always overlooked it. I don't hear a lot about this, but what I do hear about it, people say they like it so much. What do you think? Double Dragon 2. So let's start by saying fuck this game. I wasted so many hours getting fucked over by the janky, broken, clunky controls and abysmal broken jumping. If it weren't for that, and if you've played this game all the way through, you know the parts I'm talking about, and you know I'm justified in using the F word. Then to get dumped into spike pits in that damn trap room with the fucking conveyor belts. From there you get fucked on the spinning cog screen to go into being fucked again in what you think is the final room by these damn jumping purple knife guys. To then get fucked by the shadow boss, not being the final boss, to then get tricked once more, because if you're not in fucking Supreme Master mode, you get Ghost and Goblin, you have to go back through the whole damn thing again to get to the final boss, to then have him go to a second phase. To top that middle finger buffet off, I actually beat him at the same time he took my final hit point. So as he died, and the screen turns gray, I get game overed. So then I had to, obviously, play it all over again. And by this time, I'm awesome at the whole game because I've played it so many times. And I've just been like, so angry. It's the opposite of rage quitting. I'm rage focused. Just like staying up, keep playing the damn game. So now the jumping platform and the cogwheels, all that shit's easy. Because I've done it so many times, it's nothing. And I get to the final boss. And I beat him. And I do all this without mastering the flying knee kick, because I'm sure if you got really good at that and just spammed that, the game would be easy. But I'm stubborn, and I didn't master that, and I didn't use it hardly at all. And that's why I am confidently the Double Dragon Supreme Master! Oh yeah! Moving on to another game, which the pattern continues of things that I'm going to say, but Beetlejuice I intended to beat this before the new movie came out, do a review, and hopefully get lots of views, because yeah, doing things on time didn't happen, because this game is a fucking slog. Oh, once again, so many hours spent being determined to conquer this turd. But hating it at first, the more I played it, it grew on me, and now I want to say this is a gem on the collection. If some small changes were made, this game could have been fantastic. It's not fantastic, but once you get into it, you get... Okay, yeah, just... Once again, at first you automatically hate this game because of the super quick controls and floaty jumping. If you master those, you still need to know what to do, which is... knowing is half the battle. Because this is most definitely a need to know what the fuck you're doing kind of game. Of course, it's got the dreaded LJN rainbow on there, but let me tell you, there is a lot I really liked about this game. Then there's another 40 to 60% I did not like. The damn sandworm punishment stage, the overhead mansion boards where you have to speed run through auto scrolls, and the fucking flying knives, and on and on. But then there's the great boards, like the very first. When you know what you're doing, it's super fun. Stomping those beetles to regain hit points, and then farm them for currency to buy extra guys, knowing which special abilities to use and where. The graphics are good when you get them down, so are the controls, but you have to get them down. And the soundtrack is superb. Definitely a game that doesn't get its praise because half of it is shit. But then the other half is NES Gold. Next game, Scooby-Doo Unmasked on the Game Boy Advance. There's a lot of Scooby-Doo games on the Game Boy Advance, and this is definitely the best one. I think I got them all. I'm not sure. You don't care, because we're talking about this one. The graphics on Scooby-Doo Unmasked really stand out. Definitely. They really nail the Scooby-Doo vibe as far as the cutscenes and the plot. If they didn't make a cartoon episode of this game, they really should have, because it's exactly how I remember the show being from back in the day. Only better. I suppose it's a game and not just a 20-minute episode, but they really hit the nail on the head. It made me laugh how Scooby and Shaggy are the total stoners who do all the work. Daphne's the pretty airhead who always gets kidnapped. Fred and Thelma are the smart ones who do nothing but solve the mystery. The game itself got pretty repetitive, and it started to get stale towards the end, but since it's on a handheld, it was short. Thumbs up! This game gets 2 thumbs down. The Berenstain Bears, spooky old tree. Now I know you've always said Berenstain Bears, right? Till you saw the AVGN video where he says it's Berenstain, and then you look at it and it's Berenstain! I was going to do a Halloween review on this one, but it sucked, you know. I judged this book by the cover. It looked cool. I like Halloween games. I have fond memories of the books from when I was a really little kid, before video games existed. The Genesis Berenstain Bear game is pretty good. This one is not. It has those foggy GBA graphics that I despise. The gameplay is that switch between different characters who all have different abilities to finish the level. I hate that. I've never played a game with those mechanics that I like. This posed no challenge because it's for kids. I don't know what I expected. It is for kids. And yay, I beat a kids game. Next up, a game CM Retro. Fucking love watching that guy's channel. He's just a treasure trove of information. I like everything he has to say. At some point, he was talking about Gyrus. I have it. He talked about it. I like what he has to say. I decided to play it. Not being a big shooter fan or anything space themed, I'm still a big fan of this game. And I say this a lot. I'm saying it again. At first, I did not care for this game. It's in space, it's a shooter, but it's a tube shooter. And that just wasn't for me. But the more I played it, the more I liked it. And I'm saying that again too. And then I got hooked. And I'm saying that again too. I kept just one more try in this game over and over. Stayed up way too late, many nights playing it. It took me quite a while to beat this because there's no continues and the end boss was pretty tough. I finally made it to the end with a ton of lives and many of the special attack missile bomb things. So at that point, I kicked his ass. I do like the graphics. The controls are spot on, aside from being the weird tube shooter. And the music's especially good on this game. The levels are short, but there's like 40 of them. So this is probably a 30-minute button mash and thumb buster. My thumb was sore for like 2 days after this, but I regret nothing! Next up, got no footage for this one because it's on the Switch. Switch is in the other room, in the living room, where Angry Baby controls the TV. So, Super Mario Maker 2. Wife got me this years ago for Christmas, and I was like, that game's not for me. Never played it, never even took it out of the packaging. But I didn't sell it because my wife bought it for me for Christmas, and that would be a dick move, right? When Angry Baby started getting into video games and watching YouTube, he's like, Mario Maker 2, Mario Maker 2. It's like, shit, I have that game. So we started playing it, played the hell out of it. It was, it's solid, it's cool. Once again, aside from the first 3 games on the Nintendo Entertainment System and then Super Mario World, I never really played Mario games. So now that I have played many more of them, I like that one. It's got a cool premise. You know, you're grinding for coins to build the palace. I like that. I like that a lot. Next up, another Switch game. Another Mario game that we played because of Angry Baby. Super Mario Odyssey. Once again, you gotta look at my ugly face because, I don't have any gameplay footage, but now that this has had time to breathe, let's see if it's changed. If it wasn't zero sugar, it would be really good. Now it just tastes like flat diet, but carrying on. Super Mario Odyssey, another game that we play all the time now. Angry Baby went back to it for some reason, probably because he saw a YouTube video about it, and then we have to watch Super Mario Odyssey YouTube videos constantly, but that's a fun game. I know there's games before it that are similar. I haven't played them yet. I'm sure we'll get to them now, but I like it. It being a 3D world, open world game, Angry Baby wasn't too into it at first. But then now that he's better at games, we're back to playing it and he loves it. And when we beat the game, you know, it like starts over. You got to go play all the boards again and the moons are back. He just loves getting moons. So when we play Mario Wonder, it's seeds, Wonder Seeds, getting the Wonder Seeds. Now it's get moons. I liked it. It was, there was tough parts. There was some parts where it just kind of was like, where the hell am I supposed to go? But yeah, I liked it. Not the best one, but a good one. Next up, let me consult my log here to make sure that is next up. Yes. So I had to write down everything in order, otherwise I sure as hell wouldn't remember what games I beat. We are going through these in order. It's not preference, it was the order I played them. I don't know if this just came out or we just heard about it or whatever, but we had beaten 3D World. No, I'm sorry, we'd beaten Mario Maker 2 and Odyssey back to back. We needed another Mario game. And I promised Angry Baby when we beat those 2, we'd buy another one. So I bought this one. Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. It's not Super Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury. They're 2 different games, which I discovered after we beat the first one. Now, Super Mario 3D World, awesome. I loved it. Angry Baby loved it. I think Wonder is the better of the 2. No, the more fun of the 2. I think this is the better one, but I think Wonder is just more fun. It's easy though. We beat the shit out of this game fast. Like, I don't think we had it for a week before we beat it. Then we moved on to Bowser's Fury, which is just like Mario Odyssey in that kind of vein. But I didn't beat that one, so we're not talking about that. We're talking about 3D World. If you haven't played that one, I highly suggest you do. We covered There's one. Next up is this other Switch game, and that is called, to consult my notes, No More Snow, because now we're well into December. And I'm like, shit, I haven't beat many games. Got nothing going on because it's right around Christmas time. Let's hammer some games out for the log. I just saw this one because I'm always looking for a good holiday themed game, whether it be, well, it's mostly Halloween or Christmas. This one was really cool. Sorry, no game footage. We're going to whip through it fast. No More Snow. You're Santa trying to stop Krampus from ruining Christmas. And it's Halloween. It's like Halloween and Christmas together. Like The Nightmare Before Christmas, very much so. Angry Baby would be like, play the Santa game, play the Santa game. And he would just watch me play it. It's too tough for him to play. It was $1.99. The soundtrack on this was fucking phenomenal. It's like spooky. They Halloweenify Christmas songs. It's awesome. The whole game's got this dark, spooky theme. It was great. Bearing in mind a $1.99 bargain title, you know, it can only be so good. Best $1.99 game I've ever bought, for sure. No More Snow. When you beat it, Santa saved Christmas. Christmas is over. He retires to the beach. There's a whole nother game where you're Santa in shorts and a Hawaiian shirt on the beach fighting enemies there. Haven't got through that. That'll be in next Christmas. Is this really the next game? I hesitate to even talk about this. So we're not going to talk too much about it because maybe you'll forget that I owned it and played it. Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Belle's Quest. What a weird fucking game. Not only is it for kids, but it's for girls. So not only did I beat a little kids game, but I beat a little girl kids game. Moving on! At this point, I had watched CM Retro's games I beat in 2024, but it was still 2024 because apparently he takes off the last 2 weeks of the year. So I watched his video, and it seems like every time he puts his games I beat video out, I'm like, that one, throwing them on my radar. It's not like I didn't know about this game. I've had it forever. It's a game a lot of people had, especially back in the day, my age. I was determined to beat it, and beat it I did. Breakthrough. This was one I hadn't played in a while, because it's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not great. But being determined to take it down, took a little bit of getting used to. There's some times where you need to know whether you have to be at the top of the screen or the bottom of the screen, or you simply can't progress. But it's, it's a left to right. You're driving this, it's not a tank, but it's like a Jeep tank. And you're driving that and you're blowing up guys. And then that's about it. It is fun, and it is a 15-minute playthrough once you get it down. Sure, it didn't take me only 15 minutes, but I think once I sat down with it, 2 hours. 2 hours, had it figured out, boom, 15-minute playthrough. Ready for some bangers, YouTube? We're getting close to the end of the year. Starting to panic because I hadn't beaten many games. Once again, CM Retro comes through for some filler on this video. Wheel of Fortune! Which version? Regular Wheel of Fortune. Sorry, not regular Wheel of Fortune. This is the family edition. Let's start off by saying, fan is hot. Ugh. I had to play it on hard because it's a kid's game, basically. It's family edition, and if there was a choice, I have to play the hard one. I'm a big Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy guy, so I want to say it took me about 20 tries, but took it down. So on that same night, what the hell? Let's play regular Wheel of Fortune. It's basically the same exact game with different questions. I don't know if it was lucky or easy, but I beat it the first try while I was on the phone with my friend Spanish. So, that same night, what the hell? Wheel of Fortune, Vanna White edition. Let's do it. The trilogy. So I beat the Junior Edition, whatever, years ago. Congratulations, back in the day, gamer. You beat a kid's game. But so this makes subset complete. Not remembering the Junior Edition, which I'm sure is horrible. This is a different game from the previous two I beat the same day. And it sucks. It plays way slower, although it's more accurate to the show. In what ways it doesn't matter because it sucks. The only upgrade is that you have characters and they make funny expressions. The strangest thing is that this is the Vanna White edition, yet she looks the worst. And that's all I'll ever have to say about the Wheel of Fortune games on the NES. Next up, I've been playing this game, according to my Switch, for I think it was 5 years. Luigi's Mansion 3. So, sorry, no game footage because the Switch stays in there. My capture card's here, but I fucking hate this game. Okay? I know you're probably a huge Luigi Mansion 3 fan, and I never played any of the other games. Don't know how many there are. Never played them, doesn't matter. When this came out, I got it right away, because... right away. Don't know if I played it right away, but I got it right away. The graphics on this are 10. Like, my favorite graphics out of, like, any game that I can think of. They're a 10. But the gameplay is just not fun. You have to suck everything in every corner of every room. Then you have to shine your infrared light in every corner of every room to find every little secret. Some of the secrets were just stupid hard. Way harder than they should have been. I mean, this isn't necessarily, it's not a kid's game, but it's got a kiddie theme. So if there's a kiddie themed game, it can't be fucking super complex. Like, I don't want to spend so much time sucking up every corner of every room, shining my infrared light on every corner of every room, and then just... they fucked up on this. And I know people love this game, but they fucked up on it. The graphics, though, are spectacular. I think I'm just going to sell it, because I'm never going to play it again. It was super frustrating. The end was really fucking hard. But I know I just sat down and I never got up. I just sat down and beat it. It took me a long time. I don't look things up. I know I said it before, so, you know, I don't... if I would have went and watched somebody play it, like, oh shit, I know the pattern. Boom. You know, there was some bosses. A lot of boss battles in this game, which is great. That's great. I love the premise of this game. The storyline's great. Just fucking so many great things, but they blew it on the gameplay. So it makes me thumbs down this game. But there's so many really good things going for it. It's got like a C average, but I thumbs down it. I'm never going to play this game again. Love the graphics. Yeah. Moving on. So we played the Wheel of Fortune games. Let's play the Jeopardy ones. So this is the Jeopardy 25th Anniversary Edition. Woo! All right. Well, so once again, had to play it on hard. You know, I'm a big Jeopardy fan, so if I'm gonna take on Jeopardy, it's definitely gonna be on hard. It's super dated, so it makes things really hard. I mean, obviously, there's things from history and whatnot that don't change, and I guess none of the things changed. They're all the same answer now as they were then, but just some of them are so dated you don't fucking know. No, incorrect. Some of them do change. It was true at the time when they're like, what's the number one company in the world? You know, okay, like at that time, yes, it was the number one company in the world, but now the company doesn't even fucking exist. You never would have guessed it. So it was super hard, but I played it a lot and I beat it. Yay, yay, back in the day, gamer, you're the best, you beat it. Coming to the final game we beat in 2024. You're going to be pissed. You're going to be pissed. It's the all-new Junior Edition of Jeopardy! Okay, so not only is it a kid's game, but it's Jeopardy, so I got to try it on hard, right? First try, beat it, done. There you go. The game sucked. I mean, it's for kids, so what did I expect? But those games aren't great. I mean, they are Jeopardy. I'm sure a Jeopardy game that come out now, like on Switch, would be awesome. There probably is one, isn't there? I think there is, but it's years old. It's not what we're talking about. Those are the games. Oh my God, my battery's gonna die. Okay, the battery's gonna die, but it's not dead yet. Those are the games I beat in 2024. What do you think? I think Game of the Year goes to Evo. Game of the Year goes to Evo. It was fantastic. I really liked Mario 3D World. Yeah. I want to say the hidden gem of the lot is Home on the Range for the Game Boy Advance. Go ahead and get that. Play it. It's fun. Really like 3D World. Really like Mario Wonder. Game of the Year, which came out 30-some years ago. Evo. So, falling well short of my gaming goals for last year. The battery's going to die. So we'll talk about those in the Gaming Goals 2025 video, which will come out hopefully this year. My New Year's YouTube resolution is to put videos out on time. Speaking of that, stay tuned for my Halloween holiday videos coming up. Which games of these do you think are the best? I do want to know, because I care. I'm a nice guy. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And until next time, YouTube, keep it retro!
Finally, Big Earn is above the law!
It's only 25 games. Feel my shame. But you know, we had to get the thumbnail.